Sing, play, draw, paint, write, create, live, see, breathe, feel, listen, perceive, laugh, curious, seeking, alone, with text, image, or tune in your mind, together at courses, events, and workshops, share experiences, interaction with others, on the way to something out there, unbalanced or perhaps healthier than you thought. In any case, fanciful, playful, creative, sensitive, life affirming. Hi, my name is Livelin Remme. I work as an advisor in art, culture, and mental health in the city of Bergen. I have a degree from the University of Bergen in the subjects of art history, cultural dissemination, and visual communication. I have been working with the art, culture, and mental health since 2004 and also developed new programs like Room for Thoughts, the Cultural Happy Pill, different courses, and exhibitions. The art, culture, and mental health work in Bergen focuses on people's resources, interests, and potential. An essential aim of the project is to involve creative and performing artists in work for and with individuals with mental health disorders. The target group includes persons with severe or minor mental disorders. Reducing the prevalence and prejudice about mental disorders in general is also a central task. One of the primary aims is to stimulate increased participation in arts and the arts by former and current mental patients. At the same time, we seek to make available to the participants experiences, opportunities for involvement, and exhibitions of their creative work in various art forms. Our work takes place in the area between mental health and art. We receive feedback that primary focus on the artistic viewpoint gives participants the feelings that their identity as patients takes a backseat, and this in itself is inclined to give people with mental disorders greater dignity. This applies both to the way they regard themselves and the way the world around encounters them, the view of society at large. The focus on resources, interests, and opportunities is well received, and we find that it is vital that the participants are taken seriously as regards their interests, in exactly the same way as with anyone who chooses to participate in a course or an activity. Art, culture, and mental health in the city of Bergen started as a project in Bergen in 2002 and has since then been financed 2/3 from the Department of Work, Social Service and Housing and 1/3 from the Department of Culture, Diversity and Equality. And it all started with the parliamentary report, A Plan to Strengthen Mental Health from 1998. It says, a person with mental health problem must not just be seen as a patient, but as a complete person with body, soul, and spirit. Necessary consideration must be taken to a person's spiritual and cultural need, not just to the biological and the social. Mental illness touches basic existential questions. A further aim of the art, culture, and mental health at the outset in 2002 was to acquire commissions for professional artists. Johan Onstad, a ceramic artist who worked in this field for years, says that the work is important because it heightens awareness and includes people who find it almost impossible to make their mark in the public sphere, and consequently are on the outside. Art, culture, and mental health makes it possible to enter the public sphere and makes them once more active participant in society. Christine Hoem, a visual artist who also worked in this field, describes the work in art, culture, and mental health has contributed to strengthening the self-image of people with mental health issues in relation to creativity and involvement in creative processes. Feedback from participants indicates that adaptation according to their interest in art and cultural activity provides an experience of enhanced dignity. You are exposed according to what you express through your art, not as a patient. It results in you seeing, thinking about, and defining yourself in a different way. Furthermore, the outer view of society seems to change so that you are seen according to your resources. Those of us who are involved in this work also experience that the work to a great extent is about the value and dignity of people, about having respect for people's standpoint, about adapting so that participants can find the force within. A socially inclusive society which seeks to avoid social exclusion adapts for participation and equality irrespective of origins. Opportunities to take part in activities and experiences within, for instance, art and culture must be experienced as possible and available to those who want it and on the premises of the participant. Universal design is in fact not only about demolishing physical barriers, but also about breaking down mental barriers and prejudice about mental health. It is the responsibility of our collective ego, society, to create a society that receives, that accepts mental illness, and that meets openness with respect and humility. Everyone, irrespective of origins, shall have the right to participate actively in society. Which leads me to introduce to you Fanny Holmin, the editor of our journal Kraftwerk. Welcome, Fanny.
Thank you very much, Livelin. Hello, my name is Fanny Holmin. I have worked as an editor of the journal Kraftwerk since 2007. In 2015, I studied connection between creative writing and quality of life among writers in Kraftwerk. That was a part of a master's degree in health and social science. I also have a background as a poet and stage artist. So let me tell a bit about my work with the journal. Every year, we present a collection of poems and short prose. We have 2 annual editions. One is online, as I will show you later, and the other is a paper edition, like this one's. By the way, the word Kraftwerk, it means a power station. I work together with an editorial team that has professional background as writers and authors. Together we do the selection of texts and we give the writers feedback and strategies to develop their writing. We work with a lot of texts every year from our partners, and many of our participants write for us for several years. And in that case, we become like a red thread in their creative process and in their lives. Over the years, I guess hundreds of people have taken part in our offer, the journal, and also a lot of writing courses. We celebrate each edition of Kraftwerk with a launch, an event with music and readings that is open and free to everyone. The texts cover a wide range: poetry, prose, and short stories. Every second issue is a digital. You can have a look at this. Our aim is to facilitate for participating in activities. We are not an area for art therapy or for writing therapy. Instead, we arrange collaborations where our participants could develop artistic skills. So why do you work like that? Creative writing is an active and conscious action using resources and skills. The act of writing is a way of being in relation to oneself, a way of meeting and understanding oneself. To contribute something that has a value and to see that what one has created may also be a value for others, for the reader, gives people self-respect. Literature seeks outwards from normality into originality. The poet looks for something unusual in combinations of words. The unusual gives us new ways to look at the world. To further illustrate the value in our way of working, I can highlight some feedback by our participants. This makes a place for experience based on my interests. It gives structure and focus. I can see that I am not alone. I can concentrate at artistic activity. I am seen as a creative human, not as a patient. The joy of creating. Self-confidence, development, security, social network, and information about possibilities. Activity contra passivity. The political guidelines of today say that the health sector must develop a broader perspective on health, with a focus on quality of life, coping, and resources. It makes sense to look at creative writing from a value issue, also in context between culture and health. Writing is a way for people to speak up. It is always a right, an entitlement. Writing can have a healing effect, but creative writing is founded on other objectives than the wish to get well. Creative writing is having a purpose in itself. The connection between culture and health does not appear streamlined. The right to be a part of a living culture and to express yourself should also be open to groups who struggle with illness.
Thank you, Fanny.
Thank you.
We do not disagree on this. Sometimes a picture hits you right in the gut, painfully, or as something delicate and beautiful. Words may describe something we have experienced ourselves or teach us something new about life itself. Music can make us want to sing, dance, or weep. The oldest known cave painting is about 40,000 years old, and there is reason to believe that music as a form of expression is more than 50,000 years old. Throughout the ages, people have had a need to express themselves through words, music, and images, which in turn move us and enrich us, leaving their mark in different ways. The intrinsic value of art, the impressions and realization left by an encounter with the arts, the cohesive force and joy arising from participation. If we are lucky, these things may cause us to experience a greater quality of life. They may also give us the courage and enthusiasm to take new steps in our life. Einar Sagen, one of the writers in Kraftwerk, says, Kraftwerk has exerted an insane influence on my development in writing and art. Not only that, but also on my self-esteem and my health. In the program Room for Thoughts, Art, Culture and Mental Health offer opportunities to meet professional artists in creative activity, in various techniques and expressions, while simultaneously meeting other participants with shared interests. The idea behind Room for Thoughts is that people in the target group will be offered to work with their own work under the guidance of professionals in various arts. The teaching takes place either in the workshop or studio or other suitable premises that provide good practical arrangements. One acquires skills in various creative forms of expression through action, activity, involvement, and participation, through trial and error. Participants meet artists, authors, and musicians, and also have the opportunity to experience creative processes over time in the company of others. Like, for example, this little animated film, Nikolai, made just for the fun of it. Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities was adopted in 2006 and came into force in 2008. Article 30 on participation in cultural life, recreation, leisure and sport requires signatory states to take appropriate measures to enable persons with disabilities to have their opportunity to develop and utilize their creative, artistic, and intellectual potential, not only for their own benefit, but also for the enrichment of society. Special Advisor Audun Pedersen at the Department of Work, Social Service and Housing referred in an essay in Kraftwerk number 40 from 2011 to a film by Patricia Deegan, where she referred to the concept of turning point. For most of the participants in the film, people with mental health issues, the turning point was an encounter with another person who saw in them something they had not seen themselves. The encounter could be random and very mundane, sometimes with a health professional, but often with others. The common feature of these encounters was that they involved something genuinely human, not therapeutic techniques, just a meeting person to person, not studied and planned, but spontaneous and natural. Audun Petersen also writes that helpers must to a much greater extent have a conscious attitude to society at large. We, as helpers, must additionally find the human side of ourselves and not be afraid to use it. None of our therapeutic techniques can replace us as living beings who meet others with equality, interest, and openness. The best we can do in our interaction with others is to see one another as people, to meet one another with respect in all our differences. Human diversity is exciting, and I sincerely believe that when we make it possible for everyone, irrespective of their background, to develop and utilize their creative, artistic, and intellectual potential, it will not only enrich the individuals concerned, but it will enrich us all. Like this exhibition, which can be seen at our web gallery, the exhibition Air Balloons, made by old wooden industrial spools, inherited from the artist's grandparents who worked in textile industry. Art, culture and mental health are also the organizer of the Cultural Happy Pill. We offer a diverse cultural program at activity houses for people with mental health issues. We regularly arrange courses, concerts and performances. The offer within the Cultural Happy Pill is especially aimed at those who, for various reasons, have problems seeking out cultural offers outside of the activity houses. We live in a society with great differences, far greater than many of us are aware of. The arts are not perceived as something available to all. We therefore permit ourselves to be proud of our program in the art, culture and mental health in the city of Bergen, which makes just such experience and participation available for more people. Arne Løveng, a Norwegian author and psychologist, previously diagnosed with schizophrenia, now working as a senior advisor and a researcher at the National Center for Experiential Competence, says, "We are all more than our problems, and we all have the opportunity to be something other than what we are just now. For the world is not, it becomes, and we are the ones who create it." Thank you.